Hey everybody, welcome to another gear review from Adventure in a Backpack. Today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the Dickinson P12000 propane heater. We knew that whenever we took off on our full-time RVing adventure that we were going to need supplemental heat because we weren't going to be staying in warm climates the entire time. The RV furnace is extremely inefficient, and so we wanted to bring in a heater that we could run off of propane for a long time. And this seemed to fit the bill. So there's a few different types of propane heaters on the market. There's a few heaters like this, and then there's a lot more heaters like the Mr. Buddy heater, just like catalytic type heaters that you don't have to vent at all. And I want to talk about why I didn't pick one of those. So those heaters, the safety aspect isn't where I wanted it to be. So they are safe. I'm not saying that they're not, but here's the thing about those heaters. A lot of people think that they may not be safe because they put off carbon monoxide or all these other toxic gases and stuff, and that's really not the case. As long as you keep them clean, they don't put off any CO or anything like that. That's excessively harmful. The problem with those heaters, the Mr. Buddy type heaters, is that they use up your breathing air. They've even got oxygen sensors on those Mr. Buddies. So if the air that is around the heater gets too low, it will shut off and say, hey, I don't have enough oxygen to burn and I'm getting dangerous because now you're not going to have enough air to breathe. Now they have sensors to shut the heaters off, but that's the thing. If you're awake, that's great. You'll be able to tell if the sensor, faults out and stops working. But if you're asleep, that could really be a fatal mistake. You're kind of leaving your life on the line to a little electronic sensor, if you will. So that's kind of why we didn't pick the Mr. Buddy heater. We picked the Dickinson heater because there is no way for it to deplete the oxygen within the room. It's got a chimney on it. The chimney is like a dual layer type chimney. The interior layer of the chimney is taking the hot fire gases and CO and everything out through the roof, and then the outer layer of the chimney is bringing air from the outside in. So it's not using any of the air that's inside the cabin. It's using all the air from outside. It's got a door on it on the actual combustion chamber that keeps it sealed from the room. The actual box is what heats up and makes the room warm. So that's why we picked the Dickinson P12000 heater. Now let's kind of go over a little bit of how to install it. Installation was honestly super easy. Obviously the first thing that you want to be doing is finding out a good spot to put the heater. We put it in the bedroom, that way we weren't having to heat up the entire RV. And then after that we found a spot that I had electric, a 12-volt electric hookup, and that was in close proximity to a furnace. So in our bedroom here we have, this is basically our furnace cabinet. We've got our furnace down here, and so I knew and I verified and looked that we had a propane line down there, which we did, and so I knew it was going to be just a quick splice into the propane line. We had a switch that was right behind where I mounted this propane heater at, and so I was able to tap into that 12-volt line for the fan. The other consideration on where to put the heater was we wanted to make sure that it wasn't in a slide. So the top of the chimney does have a cap on top of it, and you can't put it on a slide. When you go to install this heater, the first thing that you're going to want to do after you find your mounting location is you're going to want to go ahead and drill a hole in the roof for the chimney to go through. So once you've got your hole drilled up in the ceiling, you're going to want to go ahead and run your chimney up flush with the top of the roof, and then from there you're going to want to go ahead and fasten the chimney to the top of the heater. So after you've got it mounted right where you want it, you want to climb up on top, and you're going to want to lay the rubber gasket down around the hole. Make sure that you lay some Dicor or some kind of sealant down on the gasket, on top of the gasket, and then set the deck cap down on top of it and go ahead and screw the deck cap down. You're also going to want to seal around the outside of the deck cap and on top of the screws. So all the wiring up underneath is pretty easy. You just need to find your positive and negative wires that go to your 12-volt system, and go ahead and wire them up to the 12-volt wires that you have underneath the heater. This powers your fan. As far as splicing into your propane, I used just a low pressure rubber hose that you can find for a grill. Dickinson heaters, they make this hose as well. As far as splicing into the propane line, basically got in underneath my furnace and then cut the line in two with some tubing cutters, and then got all the necessary fittings to splice into it. Okay, to start it up, you're going to want to just take your lighter and then hold it inside the combustion chamber and then push down the control knob whenever it's in the low position. You're going to hold this down for about 20 seconds and then slowly shut this door. Once your door's shut, go ahead and tighten down the latch screw. So that's really all I've got to say about the Dickinson P12000 heater. It works really, really well. It's honestly, we've been running it pretty much 24 hours a day for the last week, and it's been the main source of heat for our bedroom. That's it has been getting down to like -28. So that's kind of the situation we're dealing with here. It is cold. It's really cold outside. So even with it dipping down to the -28 or so, it's been keeping us plenty warm. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I got to say about it. Highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars, I guess you could say. And yeah, so if you like these gear reviews, if any of them help you out, be sure to subscribe to our webpage at adventureinabackpack.com. And we've also got a Facebook page at facebook.com/adventureinabackpack. So go check those out. Thanks, guys.